Let me know if you can hear the music. Jam with me for a second. Let more people on.
Follow me, 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 yeah, follow me. I'm hoping.
Thanks for the shares. Invite your girlfriends, invite your friends. We're going to talk about some stuff today.
Can all relate? We must stop fighting to achieve the peace that was taught in our country. We shall all be free. Follow me. Why don't you follow me to a place where we can be free? Come with me over there and an interracial hatred, and let's learn to share. Can you feel it? It's in the air. Now it's time for change. Time for us to care. Follow me. Why don't you follow me to a place where we can be free?
Thank you for having a little dance break with me. I'm going to share this to a couple of places and then we're going to get started. Thank you for everyone that's come on the live, want to see what I have to say. Going to talk a little bit about why I do what I do. The purpose behind Benson. Basically, why do I make plus size clothing? Why did it start? Why did I decide to do this after being laid off? So, um, let me know that you're on the lives. Leave a comment. Please share it on your page. Uh, I'm only going to be on for about 10 or 15 minutes just for the first one. Uh, and you feel free, if you saw the video, feel free to ask any questions that you may have. Even if it's not a part of the video, just about, plus size clothing, just about being a fashion designer, even just about being an entrepreneur. Um, I am here to answer any questions, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with just talking about me a little. My name is Sharita Benson. I am the owner and designer of bysbenson. Uh, I consider myself a plus size designer, but I call my clothing plus size clothing for everyone, for everybody, because a plus size body can be in any form. It can be any weight. You can be 100 pounds and have a plus size body, and you can be 200 pounds and not have a plus size body. And plus size isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just a title. It's not what they call you, is what you answer to. Um, so if you give me a minute, knock my microphone over. Isn't that lovely? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So, and I actually wrote myself notes, and I'm feeling really good about myself because I think this is going to probably be, the end all of this is my story. I wasn't able to put everything into the video that I would like to because it would have been too long. But this won't be that long, I guarantee you. I want to start with when I got my first job. I grew up in the 90s. I'm a 90s child, so we wore cross color, we wore baggy pants, the bigger the better, and I've always been plus size. For as long as I can remember, I have been on the plus side. And we're not going to have a pity party today. Maybe in another video we can talk about, uh, you know, the insecurities of growing up plus size. But for this video right now, I just want to talk about just the journey into making the clothes. But I will tap upon the insecurities that made me start the brand. But we'll talk about my little young self later. Uh, when I remember I had my first job, and I was in student government, and I had to buy an outfit. And from then, like I said, child in the 90s, big baggy clothes, but it had to be something nice. So I went to the store and I purchased my first outfit. And it's funny, it was a faux wrap skirt. I remember I had a brown top, and it was a faux wrap skirt, and I think it was some kind of floral color. And I remember wearing that outfit, and I remember just what's the word? I'm not going to say attention. Hey, Janice. Hey, Miriam. Thank y'all for coming in. I'm going to say hi to everybody. I'm new to this. So everybody that come on, I'm going to stop and say hi. So if you come on, I'm going to say hi. Anyway, and so I remember the attention I received just from that outfit. Just from, I felt different. And it triggered something in me, but I'm not going to say I totally understood it at the time. So let's fast forward. Let's fast forward to college. I'm going to fast forward because that's what started me kind of thinking, okay, the way I dress will kind of help me with my confidence. Yeah, I didn't have any confidence at the time. Oh, hey, Peanut, I know your real name. I just didn't know how to say it. I just can't remember your nickname either. Anyway, so I knew there was a correlation between how you felt and how you looked. And a lot of times you look the way that you feel. And I'll be honest with you, I looked the way I felt. I felt unattractive. I threw on the big clothes. I was in that era, so it's easy to hide yourself. But then it was funny. I went from wearing baggy clothes and hiding myself to wearing skirts that barely covered my butt when I got to college. And that's when a bodysuit was the rage. And I was wearing bodysuits and short skirts because, again, I learned that I would get attention if I dressed a certain way. But it took me about a year or so to understand that the attention, like my freshman year in college, the attention that I was receiving, that is not what I wanted. So then I went through a phase of wearing sweatshirts and t-shirts all the time and sweatpants when I was in college because I reflected what I felt. I was feeling insecure about myself. I was secure about me as a person, but in regards to how I looked, I wasn't. And I didn't realize till later it was because my body shape never looked good in clothing. It was either, I have a belly, it was either too tight or it was too loose. So putting on that garment that would make me feel better about myself, I wasn't able to do that because nothing ever fit me. So we're going to fast forward to 21. So on my 21st birthday, and it was here in Greensboro, I've kind of done a circle back to Greensboro. But I remember saying I was going to buy myself a present, so I bought myself a sewing machine. And I bought it so that, one, I can alter my clothes. Because by that time, through my trials and tribulations, through college, and again, we can talk about this at a later date, but I want to keep the video short because I have a lot, I've lived a couple of lifetimes. But I did come to the understanding of my body, and I got sick of going to Lane Bryant and looking on a mannequin, and the mannequin looked wonderful, but when I got my size, it looked like a tent. I had to go up a size in jeans because my stomach was bigger than my legs. Like I would try to put the tight jeans on. By the end of the night, looked like I had on a diaper. So I got the sewing machine for that, and also I got it because I'm tall. I wanted, I didn't want to look like a grandma if I was trying to wear a long skirt. I didn't want to look like, I was wearing high waters all the time. So I was able to go up a size and take things in. And I realized through me trying to fix my insecurities, because I was insecure about my shape, but there was nothing that I could do about it. What could I do about my shape? Yeah, I said a diaper. And y'all, it's like a 20-second lag, so I might catch y'all comments a little late, but I know my best friend laughing. That's the reason why I'm laughing. But I got an understanding of the fact that, yeah, I was insecure about how I looked. I was insecure about my weight, but I couldn't look like anyone else. I only could look like me. So what could I do about it? And this is during the time where I was on a quest to understanding of the true totality of truly being happy, being yourself. And myself was well over 300 pounds. Myself was, I used to have skin issues. I have eczema. Being, plus size and living up to that stigma, and fortunate and unfortunately, I grew up in New York, and with New York, you didn't get bullied for your weight. You got bullied for everything else. So yeah, they would make fun of your weight, but you learned to make fun back. So it wasn't that, it was more internal. So when I decided that I had to do something, like I couldn't sit there and just be sad about myself. I had to do something for myself. So I started making my own clothes. I started altering my own clothing. I started feeling better. I started, I started feeling like who I thought I should be. So let's fast forward a year or two after that. I was sewing for myself. People saw that, but I didn't intend to sew for myself. I just intended to sew for myself, sorry. And then one of my, and I'm going to call her my Sarah because she was my Sarah then, even though I wasn't a Zeta yet. Actually, two Sarahs, because I think I'm messing up the story. I'm going to mess up the story. But I think my two Sarahs, Janice Johnson and Shantae Devon, she was dubbed back then, came to me about doing t-shirts for the Freshman Steph show. Now, I've always been crafty. They knew I was interested in Zeta. They knew I was willing to do the work because, I was going to put, that's what I like. So I did the shirts. They liked the shirts. So for Freshman Steph show, they said, make our outfits. I hadn't made anything for anybody. I'll be honest with you. But there only a couple of times in my life this has happened where I just felt like, I think I can do it. I'm sewing jersey without no zigzag stitch. Look, y'all, I'm going to tell y'all now, I ain't know what I was doing. But I will tell you that my outfits look like my sketch. I will tell you I worked hard on those outfits and they look beautiful. Hey, everybody that's joined. Thank y'all for joining. They look beautiful. And I want to tell Shantae Dove, I always tell her when we on the phone, but I'm going to say it on this live. Thank you for your Sagittarian persistence, because I was going to say no, but I'm glad I obeyed because my spirit aligned with what you wanted. In regards to the Freshman Step show, that kind of let me know I could make something for someone else. Hey, Quinetta! Love you too, boo. Hey, Vanita. Yes, ma'am. Yes, thank you. I was so excited. Like, it was my first thing ever. I was like, oh God. I was so nervous. I was like a child, like a mama with her chicks. Like, my clothes is my little chicks and stuff. So, after that, like I said, I'm handy with my hands. So I was selling like crocheting, working jobs. I graduated from A&T. So I went into my story, but I'm a graduate of North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University, Aggie Pride. I have a degree in marketing. I had already was in my marketing degree when I figured out I didn't know I wanted to sew. I just wanted to tack some stuff. So, after I got my degree right after September 11th. I tried to be practical, go to school back then, make $40,000 a year, go out, you made it. You got an education. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't happen for me. I graduated A&T. I was working at Bank of America while I was at A&T. And they transitioned me to the main office after I graduated, and I was only making like $21,000 a year. I done spent $60,000 on an education to make $21,000 a year. So while I'm making $21,000 a year, I'm hustling. This is during the same time as, you know, I'm exploring this fashion. But I was a crocheter, so I used to crochet hats. I had locks down my back, so I used to make the big lock hats, and I would sell those at different events and just trying to hustle to make money, but still using my hands. But the sewing was always to the side. And then I decided that as I progressed and started making more things, I decided that I needed more education. You know, although I can sew a stitch based off of my eighth grade education, me moving to Atlanta, getting into Savannah College of Art and Design, just on my portfolio, again, I'm a marketing major, but then having to take freshman classes, and you feel offended. Let me tell you, I was offended. I was like, I got in on my portfolio. Why y'all got me in this class? I needed that class. I needed all them freshman classes in my master's program. You know, I'm a master's program. I shouldn't be, you know. And I needed those classes in regards to being able to do what I do now. But I'll be honest with you, I didn't have the confidence to do a line. I can make my own clothes. I can make my own dresses. I do it for myself. But to actually have to pattern make, it is technical. It is something that I had no clue of, that it's something that has to be catered to everyone. Every woman's shape is different. And I have to cater my patterns to that shape. So if I never pursued, you know, I'm not saying you can't. I'm not saying that you can't do anything without education. What I'm saying is you have to perfect your craft. Now, if back then YouTube was like it is, I probably wouldn't have went to my master's program. I'll be very frank with you. The wealth of knowledge that's on the internet, I stay learning. I stay learning. I stay trying to understand this craft, understanding fit, understanding function. So I went to Savannah College of Art and Design. While I was at school, I was working for a company. I'm not going to say their name because, you know, they might be petty. But I was working for a major tech company, and I got laid off. So what do you do? Okay, I'm in school. Yeah, unemployment is over. What you do? You find work. And I wound up moving from Atlanta and moving back to New York because, gratefully, my other sister, and not my blood sister, but my sister, she worked in the same industry in New York, and I was able to transition to the same industry with about a year being unemployed, but I was still going through my program, master's program, but I had to quit. I had to work. So I go and I work for the first tech company. I understand we may get acquired. We got acquired. It was some of the most miserable times. Basically, I was sitting in a job where my own boss, who'd never met me but once, judged me based off of how I looked. Looked at my resume and couldn't believe the things that I did. And I was sitting in front of a computer screen doing data entry. Nothing wrong with data entry. I'm gonna tell you that. But I got a little ADHD. Data entry, I did not sign up for that kind of job, and that's not the kind of job I can do. And it was actually torturous. So I remember sitting at that desk and crying a little bit. And I said, Lord, you said if I say it and believe it, it will be true. And I promised myself, this is going to be the last job you have. And I'm going to tell you, in 5 years, I have gone through more than you would go through working for someone else. It's the pleasure and the pain of it. You have freedom, but you pay for your freedom. Freedom comes at a cost. You can't do everything with everybody. You can't be there for everyone. You want to, but Thank you, Karen. I just saw you. Thank you. Um, you know, and I would say it's a test of faith. And I'm not trying to push religion on anyone, but I know who I serve, and I wouldn't be able to mentally handle it because this kind of job does not, this existence, this brand that I'm building. If any of you ever watch Project Runway, where they say that, and a lot of them say that this you have to love it. You have to love it. Most major designers or anyone in business, I think I'm talking to the who wants to start a business, someone who wants to design, or someone who's curious about what I do. It's like you have to have the passion behind it. You have to, because the choices that you have to make, they're hard. The humble, being humble, doing less, living less. You get what I'm saying? But if you have in your spirit that you have a purpose and you saying, hey, this is what brings me joy. I have been in positions that didn't bring me joy. I promise you. I wake up every morning and I have joy because I get to live my day the way I do, whether it's tight or whether it's lucrative. I still get to live my life the way I do, because when I made a lot of money, I wasn't happy. I ate all the time, ate out all the time, bought shoes. I had 100 pairs of shoes, and I had over 100 pairs of shoes. That's crazy. For what? And I gave away all of them, and half of them weren't even worn, just to satisfy my depression, because I could not understand an existence where you can work at a job and just not be respected, not be able to live in your truth. I'm a creative person. In front of a computer doesn't work for me. And so when I started my business, I went off on a little tangent. I'm going to try to, make it as quick as I can. So when I started my business, when we got laid off in January. 5 years ago, January. I can't remember the date. But I got laid off in January. And that's when it started. I was blessed, because I want to tell this part of my story, because some people go out there and quit their job to go ahead and start their business. If you have the finances or support, go ahead and do it. If you do not, I'm not going to tell them. I had a different story. My story was, they tried to fire me a month before I got laid off. And I'm a person that keeps everything. So luckily, I was able to keep my job before they fired me. So in my layoff, I got a severance. And in my layoff, I was able to be on unemployment while I was getting my severance. So that afforded me to be able to buy the things that I needed. Okay? I started on Etsy. A year before. And so I got everything I needed. And I started with my first item, and my first item was a convertible dress. And I put it on Etsy. You get excited, list it on Etsy. Ain't nobody buy my dress. Ain't nobody buy my dress. Nobody see my shop. And I was taking pictures of my beautiful niece in these garments, and that's when I started starting to do photography and stuff, and I'm posting it on Etsy and Facebook and all that, and I'm not getting no traction. And this is a part of my story everybody don't know, but someone on here knows what the rest of it is. So my friend tells me, Janice Johnson, that I think you should model your clothes. And I looked at her, I was like, no. I make clothes, that's too much. I'm already doing that. My cousin is beautiful, her body is banging. She was like, yeah, Rita, but the way you wear your clothes. I fought this woman until the day she was about to leave from visiting me. And she wasn't feeling well that day. And she made me go into the bathroom and said, if you don't put some makeup on your face and come here, hey Alicia, so that I can take these pictures of you, yeah, you're going to do it. And I promise you, that happened, I think, in August or July. I started making orders. And a little bit of my insecurity from, people telling you you're not good enough because of your size, having to be like, I'm loud and I'm funny, so that's what I would be with people, thinking that not thinking of me as a being that could be a model, because I wasn't about that. I didn't need all that. And she saw something in me that I didn't see. And I left New York right after that, and I humbled myself. I actually stayed at my family's home in another state while I started my business. And and I started really, like I said, I got laid off in January, and I'm gonna testify right now. So I had to humble myself in regards to asking my aunt to stay in her house. I have had my own place since I was 19 years old. I am sitting there as a 34-year-old woman talking to her aunt, asking her, can I live in your house? Now, little did I know my aunt had been praying for someone to come and stay in the house because it was empty. I left New York September 15th. I got to the state I was in. In that time, I used to love The View. And I loved Sherri Shepherd, and I always felt Sherri Shepherd would look good in my clothes. And by then, I had involved my product line. I started with my convertible dress, like I said before. And then I was the first person, and I can truly say, I was the first person to have a convertible plus-size peplum belt. If you go to Google right now, go to Google Images and put in plus-size peplum belt, you will see me. You will see my brand. That was my first thing, so I sent it to her. This is September, mind you. This is like, this is September, and I'm just moving down here. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to tell you how God works. The month I moved down there, I went from only having maybe 2 or 3 sales on Etsy to having 15 and 20. It happened literally all the months of work I had did on Etsy up until me leaving. It was like a confirmation that you are in the right, you're taking the right track, because I took this leap even with only having 2 or 3. I think my biggest month on Etsy was like 6 sales, and I was so excited. So don't knock my 6 sales, because if you get 6 sales, it starts somewhere. And I moved down there. I mean, my peplum belt, that is what brought people to me. One item. And then when I contacted Sherri Shepherd on her fan page or her website, and she gave me her information, I sent it to her, and I swear my heart said, and I haven't told a soul this, my heart told me she's going to wear that. But my fear said, why would she? But my spirit and my soul said she will. And that woman wore that belt the day she got it. And I think she wore it the day she got it because I sent it to her purposefully. I'm not just sending my stuff out to celebrities and having them throw it away. Her assistant told me she doesn't talk to anyone. She called me, we talked, we chopped it up, she ordered other stuff from me. Her assistant called me to get some information for payment, and she said, she called you? You know what I mean? She was like, she gets crazy stuff sent all the time, and she rarely calls people. So that let me know I had something. I didn't know much, but I know about a person's body, and I know I like to look proportional because I'm misproportional. And it's just from there, God just started blessing my business and blessing my hands. And through the process of having to humble myself, being in a situation where you no longer have control, when you're used to control, but you have to give up control because you have this dream that you're trying to do and you don't even know how to do it. You don't, only thing you know is what you learn with what you work with. And that's the part I couldn't say, that's a lot to put in a video in regards to, but I always want to stay truthful because I want to motivate people. Like, no one's going to understand you. They are not going to understand you. And fully, I'm going to say fully, because there are people who understand your plight, who wants to understand what you go through. This is not just if you have a business. If you have any kind of dream, I don't care if your man is 45 years old and he still want to be a rapper, support him, because you don't know where his path is going to be, because if that's his purpose, he needs to live in it, or he's never going to be the man for you. Your purpose don't necessarily have to be a business. My purpose is not a business. I happen to make plus size clothing for women because I was in search of feeling good about myself. My goal is to make women feel good about who they are in their moment, because the moment is not promised. If I die tomorrow, I will still die fat. I'm going to look good though, because my clothes are adjustable. And y'all, please share and follow. I think I got 5 more minutes, so if you can share it on your page, if you think somebody can, get something from what I'm saying, it would be very nice. And it's just that so much of time we spend on trying to live up to what our parents want us to be, what we feel we should be, instead of just sitting back and being okay with who we are. So I try to take the things that I've been through, and I'm very introspective. So I'm so introspective because I believe that the only constant in your life is you. And the day I realized that, in regards to my business, in regards to this brand, in regards to my purpose, once you realize that you all you got, with your nuances, with your being weird. I'm weird. Sometimes I say the wrong things, I do the wrong things, but my heart isn't in it. And it's just resting in who you are. And yes, I talk about plus size women because we are a market that has not been truly appreciated, because they take the same patterns they do for standard patterns and they make plus size clothing. They just go a size up. You ever wonder why when you buy that top from Ross or TJ Maxx and you see that line and it's resting on top of your breast instead of resting under your breast where it should? Is because they make their panties for B cups. I have yet to see many plus size women with a B cup, and if she has a B cup, she doesn't need a top that's based off of a B cup. So this still goes into just making us feel better about us. Being able to have quality. I got sick of having to squeeze into a medium shirt. Oh, my live in. OBS ended. Oh, sorry, y'all. I thought it got ended. We having some little technical issues. So that probably means I need to get off in a minute. But anyway. So I wanted to kind of expound also just on the video to you who have watched my documentary. I want to thank everybody that joined my live. I plan on doing these more often. I see no one had any questions about the video or anything like that. So I kind of been, trying to just kind of freestyling it and stuff. But, I appreciate everyone that supported my business, everyone who shared the video. Also, and I know this was talking about part 2, Purpose Behind the Scenes, the blueprint, the actual fashion show will be shown next Monday. It was my labor of love. It was kind of like my love letter to the world. Hey boo, thank you. That's my heart, Ebony. And I think, I want to thank Javion's Natural Hair. If you're in Greensboro, Javion Natural Hair, she dyed my hair. It's not crunchy, she's soft. You see that? Soft. Not soft, soft. And I also grams of glam. You know, my eyebrows ain't as good as they usually are because I can't see without my glasses, but they decent. They decent. That's all I got to say. They decent. But without them, I wouldn't have had the looks that I had. I want to thank all of the models who just gave me their time and trust. To help me, and my family and friends who came through just to support me, to help me, to be there. When am I going to do the crazy line that I have in my head? Son, when they come with that check. Because it costs. But yes, I will be able to do that one day. I will be able to do that one day. But I'll be honest with you. Oh, it's raining. I'll be honest with you, Karen. I'm about function. Honestly, I would rather look neat than look trendy. Like I said, I don't look like no Care Bear Teddy Ruxpin. I don't look pregnant. I ain't had no kids. I got a belly. I don't want nobody saying. I've seen people ask women, "Yo, how many months are you?" And how many months are you? So I believe more in fit than function. Or is it function and fit? I believe in fit and comfort, because the worst thing is when you sitting there all tied up like Mariah Carey right now. You know what I mean? Singing these songs in this tight girdle and can't even lean to the side, can't even hit her high notes because she can't breathe. You know what I mean? Like, nah, it's about comfort, because when you're comfortable, you look good. So it might be crazy in regards to print somebody give me a coin, but I don't think it would probably be as crazy as you probably will hope my creativity can give you, because I'm always trying to cover my gut, and there's only a couple of ways to cover your to cover your gut. So everybody, I just want to thank. How long I've been on live? I think I've been on. As y'all can see, I can't see for nothing. I'm trying to look at the thing. I've been on for about 30 minutes. So I think I'm going to make this a series. Just to talk about some things. You know, everybody need a girlfriend to talk to, questions, motivations, or anything. Like, only thing I want to leave y'all with something parting. You know, like I said, you can only be you, unreservedly. Be your best company. Don't look for man to give you the thing you need. Look within yourself. You don't need a motivational speaker. Like I don't think I won't ever be a motivational speaker. I feel like I want to be a motivational teacher. Like, you don't need to hear the same thing 5 times. You just need to do something about it. Just do something about it. Like, you don't like how you look. If you think you ugly, and this is why I want to say, because a lot of people got affinity to makeup. I say if you're looking for a man, don't go fully painted, because men are just tearing us up terrible with this makeup. Y'all looking like clowns. Yes, y'all look like y'all can be in a photo, but they running through you in this makeup. But if you don't like how you look, take care of yourself. Get you a makeup class. I took a makeup class. I need to step my game up because I'm almost 40 and I didn't know how to do but one shadow look. And why wouldn't I step my game up? Like, you have tools available to you. Don't rest in who you are. Don't rest in what people told you you were going to be. Don't rest in what that voice in your head that is not of God, that sits there and tells you who you not and who you won't be. If I didn't say anything in this video or my documentary, I hope you realize that. Hold your head up high, because you're the only you. God made you special. And if he made you special, like, if anybody else got a problem with it, I would say talk to God. So I am going to go ahead and end this live. If you liked it, if you feel somebody needed it, hey, and yo, if somebody shared this to you and you think they trying to tell you something, just take the message. Just take the message. Stephanie Moore, I need to hear this today. Who's Stephanie Moore? Oh, you tagged somebody. Y'all slow. Oh, fashion show. Ebony, I might be doing one in Philly. I might. I don't know. But I'll definitely let y'all know. But that fashion show, man, I was on my butt for a month. So I have to be kind of, because I do everything myself. So I got to be a little bit like, what's the word? Cautious with this body of mine. Stay drinking water to keep myself up and stuff like that. But I'll definitely let you know, Ebony, and your baby is so beautiful. So y'all, I just want to tell y'all thank you for coming on. Hit the notification so the next time I go live, it ain't gonna always be this deep. We can chat, we can kiki, laugh. I'm always watching something retarded. So I hope you all have a good night and love you and thank you for coming on. And look, like, follow, share at bysbenson, and my website is www.bysbenson.com. Share it on somebody's page, like it. Put a comment. That's the 10 seconds to help a business owner. It only takes you 10 seconds. So y'all have a good evening.